we were talking about nucleotides. Here in last class we talked about nucleotide. So in nucleotide, let me revise this nucleotide. So in nucleotide, what is there? What is nucleotide? Nucleotide is made up of three things. At the center, we have pentose sugar. So at the center, we have a pentose sugar. So I told you to remember this pentose sugar like this. So this is a pentose sugar. Isn't it a pentose sugar? Doesn't it resemble a pentose sugar? It is a pentose sugar. So in one thumb, if you do like this, there is two thumbs. In one thumb, base is attached. In other thumb, phosphate is attached. So this makes nucleotide. So if you do like this with your hand, it becomes nucleotide. So remember the things by using your hands and other tricks. So this is ribose sugar, OH is there. One OH will be there here, CH2, and this with O, phosphate is attached. And with this, base is attached. It can be purine or pyrimidine. It can be, so base, I'll write like base. So base is attached. So this is nucleotide. Now, in nucleotide, we started to talk about base. So we know there are two types of base. One is purine. Purine, the name, shorter name has bigger molecule. Other is pyrimidine. So pyrimidine is nothing but 6 atom compound. This is 6 atom compound with 2 nitrogen like this and 4 carbon. So this is ring is pyrimidine ring. It's easy to understand. And purine is made up of nothing but 1 pyrimidine like this. And then with this pyrimidine there is fused imidazole ring. So this is purine. Now purine, I told you purine again, in that is the purine that is present in DNA are of two types. So one is adenine. This adenine, you can write purine like this. And to this purine in adenine, A for adenine and A for amine, you can remember like this. So amine is attached like this. So this is adenine. It's easy, adenine. Now other is guanine, that is present both in RNA and DNA. Guanine, how do you write guanine? So just draw the structure of this purine and then you add here and here group. See, whenever you add group, there is only either oxo group or NH2 group, and only one base is there which has methyl group, that is thymine. Thymine has methyl group. Otherwise, all purine or pyrimidine will have either this group or both group. So let's see this. This guanine has got both group. So a nitrogen is in between these two nitrogens. So NH2 here, NH2 come with this NH2, and here at the top there is O group. So this is guanine. So if you understand the structure of this pyrimidine and purine, you will have more concept. You will understand mutation better. You will understand drugs better. Many things you will understand better. So understanding of the structure is very important. Now pyrimidine has got there is two types of pyrimidine in RNA. So those pyrimidine, we first start pyrimidine with the basic pyrimidine that is first synthesized during pyrimidine is uracil. So you draw uracil. Uracil has only O group at this and at this position, at this and at this position between nitrogen at the top. So this is uracil. So you modify uracil little bit, and this modified type of uracil is present in DNA. DNA does not have uracil. This is uracil. Now modify this uracil by adding one methyl group. This becomes thymine. So thi for methyl. Methyl group is there, thymine. So methylated uracil is thymine. A cytosine and other pyrimidine is cytosine. So you draw the structure of cytosine like this. So this is pyrimidine, and then you draw one NH2 group at the top, and then O group here. So this becomes cytosine, because cytosine will make bond with guanine. That is why you can see here top oxo group is there, but here NH2. So group is different. We will see the significance. So remember these three bases, and there are some other bases. That, for example, in purine we have seen that all coffee, tea, and cocoa, they have got purine. These are methyl xanthine. So what is xanthine? Xanthine is nothing but purine. So let me talk a little bit about xanthine. So let's talk now. After we have introduced, let's talk about this. So you already know what is nucleotide, what is nucleoside, nucleic acid. So nucleotide will make nucleic acid, nucleoprotein. Now these are the function of this nucleotide. These are all function of, they will first make, there are many functions in addition to DNA and RNA synthesis. Nucleotide have many other functions. So you can see the energy, ATP is again nucleotide. It has very important role in signaling, like second messenger. They are second messenger, and they are also part of G protein. So they are part of G proteins. You can see the synthesis of polysaccharide. So in nucleotide, sugar are utilized for synthesis of polysaccharide, both homopolysaccharide and heteropolysaccharide, and synthesis of coenzyme. So all coenzymes, this FAD, FM, and NAD, these are all nucleotide with vitamin. So vitamin B2 here, vitamin B2 and vitamin B3, these are nucleotide. Now drugs, many drugs are nucleotide drugs. They are antiviral drugs. Some are antiviral drugs. So some are immunosuppressor drugs. Some are antiviral drugs for AIDS. Some are anti-cancer drugs. So many drugs are made up of this nucleotide. That is why understanding of structure of nucleotide is very important for you. Now let's see this. So we have already done, I have already told you. So this is glycosidic, but you can see N-glycosidic, because this is carbohydrate. So with carbohydrate base is attached with N. So N-glycosidic bond is there. And with purine, number 9 nitrogen is attached. With pyrimidine, number 1 is attached. So this is just shown is purine only. This is adenine, and you can see this is, you can see guanine here and here. This is guanine. Purine, we have already told you, this is pyrimidine. So heterocyclic compound, heterocyclic hexane compound with 2 nitrogen here and here. So these are the contribution of for this all atoms during synthesis of pyrimidine, carbonyl phosphate aspartate and pyrimidine. Now these are all pyrimidines. So this and these are two are present in RNA, and DNA has this 2, not uracil. So DNA has this 2, and these are very similar. Only the difference is you can see the group. Thymine and uracil are different in methyl group only, and they both have oxo group, similar group here. And you can remember this way: the cytosine is different. The cytosine has different group, but uracil has same group. And uracil is, this thymine is different from this uracil by methyl group. So you can easily remember. Now this is purine is nothing but fusion of pyrimidine plus imidazole ring. This imidazole ring. So this is purine. So purine, and nomenclature of purine is, you can see it is first clockwise, then 1, 2, 3, this is anti-clockwise, then clockwise, but the naming of this like this first, then clockwise. So you can see the naming, it starts from this nitrogen here, but in purine it starts from this nitrogen. So you can see this is clockwise, purine is, so pyrimidine is clockwise and purine is anti-clockwise. You can see this name. These are the difference. That is why this the element, the bond is formed at 1, and the here bond is formed by 9. Glycosidic bond is formed at 9, and glycosidic bond formed with pyrimidine at 1. And pyrimidine nomenclature clockwise, and this is anti-clockwise.
Oh, wait. I think we are getting things mixed up here. Is
Yes,
pyrimidine, is it anti-clockwise or clockwise?
pyrimidine is
It should be
clockwise.
anti-clockwise.
Clockwise. Pyrimidine is clockwise. 1, 2, 3. We will name like this. Okay. Let me draw the structure. So we start from here, and we give third position to this. So this becomes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is a clockwise. Isn't it a clockwise?
It is.
Pyrimidine is clockwise.
Okay.
And purine, we will give a nomenclature to purine like this. First we give number 1 to this, then 3 to this. So this is like this. And then actually we will give this half ring, this numbering like this, and then half ring will be clockwise again. This half ring will be clockwise. 7, 8, 9. So just understand this, we name like this. You have to memorize the number like this. At least number 9 comes to this. Number 1 comes to this. So this is how you can give a number to the particular atom in purine and pyrimidine. So major purine, I have already told you, adenine and guanine. So what is the difference? Adenine only has amino and guanine has these two. This oxo, and between two nitrogen there is NH2 amino group. So this is guanine and adenine, and you can see. So guanine and adenine, this amino, these are very like susceptible. These are very unstable because deamination can happen easily. So these are very unstable type of bases, relatively unstable. These amino group are very unstable in both guanine and this adenine. Both are like they are very unstable. So deamination will result here xanthine, and this like this it will become xanthine. So this is xanthine. Xanthine is nothing but 2-oxo group. And this is adenine. Adenine, if you remove amino group from this adenine, it will become hypoxanthine. So hypoxanthine has only 1 oxo group, xanthine has 2 oxo group. What is uric acid? Uric acid has 3 oxo group. Here, this is xanthine plus 1 more oxo group is uric acid. So it is a trioxypurine. Uric acid is an excretory product. You will see in microscope like this. Yellow and bluish tinge in polarized microscope. Purine bases, these are purine bases you will find in tea and coffee, theophylline, theobromine, and caffeine. So these are methyl xanthine. You can see this is xanthine because O group here. These are all called methyl xanthine. Especially caffeine is trimethyl xanthine. This is trimethyl xanthine. Other are dimethyl xanthine. So though position of methyl group is different, they are dimethyl xanthine. So remember this caffeine, theophylline, theobromine, these are also used as drug, and these are methyl xanthine. So you can see this. These are phosphodiesterase inhibitor. They inhibit phosphodiesterase enzyme, thereby increased intracellular CAMP. This is very important. Remember this. And caffeine has one more additional effect, that caffeine will also stimulate adenosine receptor. These are part of pharmacology. It is better to remember a little bit about this. So phosphodiesterase enzyme and adenosine receptor. Remember these all things. So they will stimulate heart also. Smooth muscle, bronchial smooth muscle, and heart muscle, inotropic and chronotropic of heart also, cardiac muscle also. Let's see biological now. This orotic acid. This orotic acid is very important pyrimidine. So what happens in orotic acid is, orotic acid, if you can see, orotic acid is very similar to uracil. To this uracil, if you add one carboxy group like here, this carboxy, this becomes orotic acid. So actually what happens is, in our body, uracil is synthesized from orotic acid through decarboxylation reaction. If this enzyme is deficient, what will happen? This orotic acid level will become very high. And this orotic acid, high orotic acid level will cause orotic aciduria. Orotic aciduria. Remember this condition. This is very important condition. So what is orotic aciduria? So that is why I have written this orotic acid. Orotic acid, if anywhere orotic aciduria comes, you have to remember this is purine, this is uracil plus carboxy group. Now, on commonly occurring naturally occurring bases. So we were on this. Last class we were on this. That whatever we talked today, it was just a revision. So let's start from this. So these are the bases that occurs in our body, that are very uncommon type of bases. They are different from what we studied: adenine, thymine, uracil, guanine, and cytosine. They are different from them, little bit different from them. Now let's say this inosine. So inosine is, you can see hypoxanthine. This is hypoxanthine present on nucleotide. This is present in this inosine is IMP is present in anticodon region of tRNA. This is present on anticodon region of tRNA. Now let's see this other things that we found in tRNA. Let's first talk about that. So pseudouridine. So you can see this is uracil only, but if you put nomenclature, this will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So these are the naming of these atoms in uracil. But in normal condition, this ribose should be bound to this, and this is normal UMP. But what happens in pseudouracil? This is pseudouracil uridine. What happens? This ribose binds to this 5 carbon. This becomes pseudouracil, and we call it Psi. In tRNA, we give it Psi. So IMP in anticodon region, and this Psi in T-Psi-C region. We will see right after this slide what is T-Psi-C region. And now this dihydrouridine is reduced form of uracil. So you can see here DHU. This is uracil. You can see uracil has one double bond. This is reduced form of uracil. It's called dihydrouridine. Now, if you can see, we have seen 2 form of uracil, 1 and 2 form of uracil. One is pseudo. This is also a form of uracil, and this is DHU is also a form of uracil. So 2 form of uracil are present in tRNA, and this IMP is also, IMP is nothing but, we will get this IMP. I have already told you this IMP we can get from deamination of adenine. So if you adenine has got amino group. If you do deamination of adenine, it will form inosine. So inosine we get it is also present in tRNA. So these are the different type of uncommon nucleotide that are present in tRNA. 3 type of DHU, pseudouridine, and IMP. Let's see one very important nucleotide that is present on mRNA. The mRNA cap 5' end has got this 7-methyl guanine. 7-methyl guanine. So you can see here, this is 7-methyl guanine. If you number this, so number starts from this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Now at 7th position there is methyl group. So it is a modified form of methyl group. This 7-methyl guanine is present at the 5' end. It is attached. This 7-methyl guanosine nucleotide protects this mRNA. It is called 5' cap of mRNA. So we will see about this also in a short while. And third, last is this, the methyl cytosine that is present in DNA. This is methyl cytosine. This is methyl cytosine. You can see this is cytosine. Cytosine has got one oxo group, one NS. If you add one methyl group, this becomes methyl cytosine. And methyl cytosine is present in a DNA. Mature DNA, there will be methylation at the island, this island, where there is C and G rich region. So methylation happens in DNA, in cytosine region, in cytosine here. So this is 5-methyl cytosine. 5-methyl cytosine actually cause gene suppression of this DNA. So these 5 types of abnormally occurring nucleotide we will see in genetics. First, you can see these 3 are IMP, Psi, and DHO. 7-methyl guanine and methyl cytosine. Let's see this. See this is 7-methyl guanine. This is 7-methyl guanine. If you can see here, now this is continuation nucleotide. This is 5' end. What is 5'? This is base. Base is sugar, and this sugar is numbered 1', 2', 3', 4', and this base is numbered as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Base is not given prime number. So base is given as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like this. But this is sugar is given prime numbering. So this is 5 at 5 and there is phosphate, and this phosphate you can see with this 5 like opposite type of bonding you can see is made by this 7-methyl guanosine. This is 7-methyl guanosine. It is called 7-methyl guanine cap, 5' cap, which is 7-methyl guanine. So we will talk about this RNA modification of mRNA in modification of mRNA. Remember this. Remember about this. So this is important. 7-methyl guanine. You can see. Can you see this tRNA? T for tri. You can remember T for tri also. So though tri because it has 3 arms. So you can remember like that also. tRNA. So 3 arms. So 1, 2, 3 arms mainly. And this is also 4 arm, but 3 arm that has to be memorized. You will remember easily this arm. So this arm is anticodon. Anticodon loop. Here in anticodon loop only you will see IMP, inosine monophosphate. You can see here T-Cy C loop. Do you find thymine in RNA? Do you find thymine in RNA? Yes. Do you generally find thymine in RNA?
No.
No. But tRNA has thymine. In tRNA you can see thymine, and this loop is rich in thymine and pseudouridine. What is pseudouridine? I have already explained. In generally, this is, if you consider, this is uracil. This is uracil. With this uracil, if you see, this is uracil. So glycosidic bond will be present at 1 number nitrogen. But in case of pseudouridine, the glycosidic bond is present here, as you can see here. So normally it should be at 1, but it is at 5. This is pseudouridine. Just the position of glycosidic bond is changed. And this is nothing but uracil. So this is called pseudouridine. Thymine is methylated uracil. So T. So thymine. So thymine is present in T-Cy loops. This loop is very rich in thymine, pseudouridine, and cytosine. That is why this loop is called T-Cy loop. This loop is very important for binding of larger ribosome, 60S ribosome in translation. Now DHU loop. Why D loop is called? Because dihydrouridine. This loop is rich in reduced form of uracil. So what is reduced form of uracil? This is, you can see, this is uracil here, and this is reduced form of uracil. This loop is very rich in DHU, reduced form of uracil, and this anticodon loop has IMP. This IMP. So did you understand abnormal bases, significance of abnormal bases, where they are present?
Sort of. I'm sure when I like go through it again.
Yes.
Sort of. When I go through it again, hopefully it will be better.
Okay, okay. So only 5 are there. I have only mentioned 5. 3 for tRNA, 1 for mRNA, 1 for methyl DNA. 3 for tRNA, 1 for mRNA, 1 for DNA. So unusual nucleotide. So we have already talked about this nucleotide. So nucleotide has got base, pentose sugar, and this phosphate moiety. And this sugar is bound with the base with N-glycosidic bond. And this is the joining happens, the bond formation will happen by release of what molecule that you know. Now let's talk about this ribose sugar. So this ribose sugar in DNA and RNA, they are not in this form. Though we draw like this, but they are not in this form. They are in a bit this type of form. So they are a bit like this chair. What do I call this? Chair or board form. This is called chair form. They are distorted like thing. Okay. So because of that, what will you can see? This is the structure of this. So this is like this. This is not very straight, So what happens is some molecules comes in towards the plane of this, where this 5 carbon exists. So if this molecule at second carbon, if this second carbon, this is first carbon, second carbon like fold towards this 5 carbon, this is called indo. When it goes away, this is called exo configuration. Now in DNA, especially BDNA, balanced DNA, there is puckering. This is called puckering. Folding, intrusion or extrusion is called puckering. And this indo, when this second carbon pucker or second carbon folds towards this 5 carbon, this is called C2 indo. And this type of base, this type of actually sugar, this type of pentose sugar is present in DNA. And when this will fold like this towards this, so this is called 3 indo. So 3 indo puckering occurs in the sugar of RNA. Generally, or RNA has this type of sugar, and DNA has this type of sugar. And aDNA is a type of DNA that is not actually present in our body. That we will talk about that. So RNA has, just for the time being, remember RNA has C3 puckering and DNA has B for 2. So bDNA has C2 indo puckering. This second carbon is folded towards this 5th carbon. It is not completely planar. You can see it is not completely planar. One of the carbon is folded like this. So this is called puckering. So did you understand this puckering?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
C2 puckering is present where? C2 indo puckering? DNA. bDNA. DNA. Okay, just remember DNA. C2 puckering is present in DNA. C3 puckering is present in
RNA.
RNA. That's good. So that is, so DNA, which base is present, which sugar is present, sorry, in DNA? Among this, what is the main difference between DNA and RNA in composition? This sugar is the very important difference. From this sugar only, we call it deoxyribonucleic acid. Deoxyribonucleic acid. So this is a very big difference. A big difference between DNA and RNA is sugar. DNA has deoxy sugar, and deoxy is present at which position? Second position. Second Indo-Puckering and second position. So there is no oxygen, if you can see in this base, ribose base. So this is called deoxyribose base. There is no oxygen here at second position. Only hydrogen is there. This sugar is present in RNA, where you can see oxygen is there, OH is there. So ribose and deoxy is the one of the very big difference. Second difference you will see is different in composition is thymine. You will find in DNA, and uracil you will find in RNA. And third difference is double-stranded, and this is single-stranded. So these are mainly three differences you have to remember first. Don't forget these three differences. First, two differences are difference in composition. Composition of this sugar, composition of base, then double-stranded and single-stranded. Now nucleotides are coupled. So we have seen puckering. We have talked about this base, sorry, sugar. We have talked about sugar right now. So sugar in DNA, C2 Indo-Puckering, and RNA C3 Indo-Puckering is there. And sugar in DNA is deoxyribose, and RNA is oxyribose. Now let's see this conformation of this base in comparison to the sugar. So this is also very important, because this configuration is very important for the structural stability of the DNA and RNA. So especially DNA. So this is, so nucleotide are coupled to D-ribose and deoxyribose through N-glycosidic bond. You can see this, and first let's see this. This is N-glycosidic bond. So from this sugar, this base are bound with N-glycosidic bond. This is also N-glycosidic bond. Where do you find O-glycosidic bond?
In disaccharides.
Yeah, in disaccharide, polysaccharide, you will find O-glycosidic bond. Here you will find N-glycosidic bond. So N-glycosidic, why? Because nitrogen and oxygen. So this carbon, that is why this is called N-glycosidic. Here with purine, number 9 nitrogen with this 1 carbon, 1 prime carbon. Here 1 to 1 prime carbon. So this is the glycosidic bond. Now we will see the torsion angle, how this base is positioned in relation to this sugar. So after we have seen this, so these are the, you can see all the adenosine. You can see adenosine 9, this guanine, deoxyadenosine with 9, and guanine also you can see this is also 9 with 9 like this. And here you can see with cytosine that is present in DNA. So deoxycytosine is present 1 prime, deoxycytosine. This is oxycytosine, means RNA, and 1 prime. Here also 1 prime. Here uridine. This is uracil in RNA, and this is thymine in DNA. So you can see 1 prime. So this is glycosidic bond and glycosidic bond. So what we are talking about, the structural issue is that conformation of this base with this sugar. So you can see here. So sugar, you can see this bases are especially purine. You can understand more in context of purine. So let's talk in context of this purine here. So you can see in this purine. So let's this is actually adenine, because this amino group is there. This is adenine. So purine, if it is placed directly on the sugar like this, if this pyrimidine ring of this purine, it is like directly on the sugar. This is called syn configuration. Syn means same. Syn means same. When it is folded like this, as you can see here. So when this pyrimidine part of ring is placed here, opposite side, this is called anti. This is anti configuration. So what you see is this carbon is hydrogen in anti configuration. Hydrogen is here, though it is not shown 1, 2, 3, and fourth is hydrogen. So hydrogen fall directly over this eighth carbon hydrogen fall directly over this sugar. And this is called NT. And this pyrimidine comes over this sugar. This is called syn. The same way you can see here, the NT configuration is taken from this. NT configuration is more stable. Because you can imagine this steric hindrance. There is one terminology, the steric hindrance. Steric hindrance is the phenomenon that where the hindrance happens because of bulky groups, two groups. So steric hindrance, the hindrance is less in this condition. That is why this is more stable. Now this is seen because you can see this is 1, 2. So second oxo group, if it comes directly above this sugar, in case of this cytosine and uracil and thymine, then in case of pyrimidine, this is called syn. If this 2 oxo group comes directly over sugar, but this 2 oxo group, if it is opposite, and in place of 2 oxo group, if you see 6 hydrogen group, this is 6 hydrogen group come above this, and this sugar, it is called NT. This is called NT. So this configuration is very more stable configuration. Now for DNA, this is the configuration of this purine is more important, because you can see purine has more bulkier group. Here pyrimidine has only oxo group, so pyrimidine can flip, but purine, the DNA cannot afford this normal DNA. Normal DNA has NT configuration only. We will see in a while when we talk about DNA structure. So I am preparing the background for DNA structure. You can see here I have shown H6 in pyrimidine, this H6 in pyrimidine, and this is NT, and then H8 here, H8 in purine. So this is NT. Syn is O2. This is O2, and N3 purine. So this is N3 purine. 1, 2, 3. So this is 1, 2, 3. So this pyrimidine whole N3, if it comes directly above this. So this is syn. These two are syn, and these two are NT. Did you understand this syn NT configuration? Did you understand? This is just rotation. If this is syn, this is NT. This is syn, this is NT. Did you understand?
Yes, sir.
It's easy. It's not that difficult. NT is stable. So you can see, we will talk about this. So syn configuration is present in G DNA, abnormal type of zigzag DNA have syn configuration, but B DNA has NT configuration. So we will talk about BD. Our body has B DNA. It is in NT configuration. Now you already know about all the nucleotides. So let's revise this nucleotide. So this is N glycosidic bond, and these are called ester bond, phosphoester bond. Ester bond. What is ester bond? What is ester bond? This is ester bond in carbon, okay? This is ester bond with other carbon. This is ester bond. So you can say COOH is acid, and it is like salt. Ester is like salt. It is like salt bond. COC and then C. So if you compare this CO, C and C, if you and there is other C. So if you replace this with phosphorus, can you see this phosphorus double bond O, phosphorus double bond? So can you see this bond here? Is it similar to this?
No.
Isn't it similar?
No.
Phosphorus double bond this. Phosphorus double bond this. So in place of carbon, if I place phosphorus double bond, phosphorus double bond, isn't it similar? Double with in double bond. Oxygen here, oxygen here. Aren't they similar?
Yeah.
So these are acid and hydride. Ester acid and hydride. Okay, these are acid and hydride. So ester bond, phosphoester bond, and this is called monophosphate can be further phosphorylate ditri. So these are acid and hydride and ester bond. These are ester bond. These are called ester bond. So remember this. We will need this bond. Concept of this bond. And you can see this. This is, you understood this is glycosidic bond. So you convinced about this and glycosidic bond?
Yes, sir.
So now you understood. Will you remember this is ester bond here?
Yes.
Like this, and hydride is ester bond. So these are ester bond. So this is acid, similar to acid and hydride. This is formula of acid and hydride, structural formula of acid and hydride in organic chemistry. So this is very similar. So ignore this because this is complicating you. So ignore for the time being this. So if you ignore this, it will look similar. Doesn't it look similar? Now?
It does.
Okay, great. Now, so you can see here this ester bond here also you can see. So phosphate bond here. So this is this bond, ester bond here, glycosidic bond, and the phosphate, sugar, and then base. So this is nucleotide you can say. So this is deoxy EMP, DGMP, this is guanine, this is GTMP, this is DCMP, and then you can see this is counterpart of R for RNA, AMP, GMP, UMP, and CMP. So these are nucleotides that are present in. These are present in RNA. All nucleotides, 4 nucleotides, and these are the 4 nucleotides present in DNA. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So you can see these are the nucleotide. You can see these are presented. So whatever presented RNA, and this is deoxy in DNA, RNA, DNA. You can read yourself. So these are in table form. Now, what is nucleic acid? So let's talk about nucleic. What is nucleic acid then? So nucleic acid is the, if you can read this, internucleotide bond between nucleotide is the phosphoric or diester bond. Okay, and because of this bond, a long chain of polymer. This is basically nucleic acid are polymer. You can say polymer of nucleotide. Okay, what is nucleic acid? Nucleic acids are polymer of nucleotides. Okay, did you get this?
Yes.
Yeah.
These are polymer of nucleotides. Then you already know these nucleotides are polymerized because of which bond? Because of which bond? This is because of this diester bond. What is this diester bond? If you can see, there are one phosphorus. Can we write this bond like this? So there is O group here. Can you see this O group here? The O group here, and this with this O group there is double bond here. This double bond, and with this double bond there is one C, and there is one C. So this is one ester, and this is second ester. So that is why this bond is total bond is called what bond? Phosphodiester. So did you get that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So this in between, what is protein? Just tell me what is protein.
Amino acid.
Yeah, polymer of amino acid. Bonded by which bond? If there is polymer, there must be bond that binds all the amino acids together. What is that bond? Peptide bond. Okay, so I am giving you the definition for all polymer. So if you see glycogen, what is glycogen?
Polymer of
Glucose. Bound by? O glycosidic bond.
O.
Isn't it true?
Yes, sir.
What is nucleic acid then?
Nucleotide.
Nucleotide. Bonded by?
N-glycosidic.
So N-glycosidic bond is not between nucleotide. N-glycosidic bond, you can see, it is free. It is between this and this. So between this nucleotide, there is this bond. This bond. You can see by phosphodiester bond. This is phosphodiester bond. Did you understand?
Yeah.
So nucleic acid is simply, this is one nucleotide. This is sugar, with sugar base is attached, adenine is attached, and then phosphate is attached. This is one nucleotide. This nucleotide is bound to other nucleotide by phosphate, you can see, by this phosphodiester bond. Again, this nucleotide is bound to other nucleotide through this phosphodiester bond, like this. So this is a polymer of nucleotide. Nucleic acid is polymer of nucleotide that is bound by phosphodiester bond. And this phosphodiester bond is present between what? This is head. If you see the head, all 5' is, we call it 5' end, and this is 3' end. So how do we name 5' and 3'? We'll see first. Let's see this bond first. So this bond is formed between this third carbon of this initial with the 5th carbon of the successive. So this third prime OH is bound to the phosphate of the successive nucleotide. Can you see? I'll draw the structure of nucleotide, then you will understand, I think. This is base, this is phosphate. Okay, so see this. So now this phosphate, this is carbon, this is oxygen, this is 5' carbon, and this is 1 prime, this is 2 prime, this is 3 prime, this is 4 prime, this is 5 prime. Now this phosphate is called 5' phosphate. This is called 3'. So OH group here, I am not able to draw. Okay, so this is called 3' OH group. Can you see this structure of this nucleotide? Yes? Can you see this structure of this nucleotide?
Yes, sir.
Now this nucleotide, can you place this nucleotide here? This is phosphate 5', this OH. Can you imagine OH here? Did you get this? Now this nucleotide, this second nucleotide will bind with this 3', this 5' phosphate of this second. Again, the same thing. So bond between this 5' phosphate to this 3' OH. Can you see? By this phosphate. This is phosphate 3 to 5 to this 3' to 5'. Bond is between 3' to 5'. Did you get that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you can see the bond is between this 3 to 5'. 3 to 5'. Now, at the beginning, phosphate is free. 5' phosphate is free. When in any DNA or RNA, beginning phosphate is free. This is called 5' end. And the last C3 is also free. OH is free. This is called 3' OH. So we name the direction of this nucleotide. We count like 5' to 3' like this, because 5' is free, 3' is free. That is why we do a direction. We give a direction of 5' to 3'. So did you understand this direction? 5' to 3' direction? This is 5' is free, this is 3' is free. So 5' to 3' direction we give. Now here see, this phosphodiester bond is found between this 3 OH of sugar nucleotide by this 5 with this phosphate, forming sugar phosphate backbone. This will form a backbone. This is a sugar phosphate backbone. So we will revise it more. Just remember, this is called backbone. This bond and sugar is called backbone, and bond is found between 3' to 5'. And we name from this 5' to 3' like this, because 5' phosphate is here, and that's where 5 to 3. Now let's see. So how bond is formed, you can see from this picture. So this is one nucleotide. This is 5'. You can see this is 5' phosphate, and this is bound to this 5' OH on this carbon, and 3' OH. Now with this 3' OH, this phosphate, 5' phosphate will bind here. Now this is free, and here this is free. That's why 5' to 3'. Okay, did you understand? And this happens, bond formation happens with the loss of water. This is condensation reaction. Okay, and this is phosphodiester linkers. Did you understand?
You say it happens in the loss of water.
Yes.
Okay.
What happens?
You said the binding takes place in the loss of water, right?
Loss of water, don't you see here? Here is OH and this H. So this bond will directly form between this O, and that is your water. Okay? Did you get this? Okay? Did you understand?
Yeah.
If you don't understand, tell me. These are the basic things. If you understand slowly, then you will understand genetics a very better way. Did you understand now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So remember, this is a nucleotide. So with this nucleotide, other nucleotide like this. So this many home are attached. This is like home. Many like these are attached like this. So you can now there is one very important rule. This is called Chargaff's rule. So we will end here. Actually, the double-stranded helix structure is based on this finding. So this is a scientist, actually, he died on 2002, lived for 95 years. In 1940s, he devised a rule. He told that in all DNA, he actually give a nucleotide ratio regarding DNA. So in all DNA, this purine is equal to pyrimidine. So he devised the rule purine is equal to pyrimidine. And in that purine also, this thymine is equal to adenine. And guanine is equal to cytosine. And this day we don't have to memorize this. So we don't consider this day, we also don't consider it as rule also. But that time when Watson Crick developed this double-stranded helix model, so this rule was very significant that time. So we know right now A binds with T, and that is why this A will be equal to T, because hydrogen bond formation will happen between adenosine and thymine. So just remember this. Even if you don't know anything, just remember A is equal to T, because adenosine form hydrogen bond with thymine, and G is equal to C, because this in double-stranded helical model, guanosine form a double bond, this hydrogen bonding with C. That is why A is equal to C, G is equal to C, and that is why thymine is equal to always, both are purine. Purine is equal to pyrimidine. So this rule was given by Chargaff's rule. This is called Chargaff's rule. So Chargaff's rule laid the foundation for this discovery of Watson-Crick model, double-stranded helical model. So we will stop here.